cuts in the middle. Butts.
And we're live.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mistwalkers Shroud, episode 34 of our campaign. Thanks for joining us as we continue this journey exploring Castle Avernus in Darkon. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Perfect. Nailed it.
First try.
Okay. Fuck, I kind of forget the steps. I'm like so focused on the game that I'm like, wait, now I have to do an introduction that I have not thought about. Episode 34. Did we go with what was our title for this one, Taylor?
Time, Death, and Taxes.
Okay, we did go with Time, Death, and Taxes. I, as the DM, of course, am always aware of what our titles are for our episodes,
And
but
what
I
episode
like to
number
test.
it is.
And what episode? I never make a mistake on that ever. Don't watch the intro to the last episode, or that might prove me wrong.
Perfect
No.
in every way.
Yeah, that's what my therapist says. So,
Oh my god, you're winning therapy and D&D?
We're rolling.
Some people do have it all.
all right. I don't know why I would say, all right, class. What happened last time?
The conjuration room was really something.
Again, I never make a mistake. We did
the conjuration room. I conjured a giant wall of water.
Conjured
A fireball. Yeah, conjured electricity while I was standing in that water wearing metal.
Yeah. Conjuration's a powerful school.
Truly.
We opened with Buster in the mirror, right? That was the
We did start with Buster in the mirror. Buster met some strange, spooky mirror beings.
Lost an eye.
Yeah. I'm a bear.
And then he found it.
I managed to get out by just not listening to what they wanted me to do and doing what I wanted to do instead. So I got the fuck out.
Fair.
Yeah. That did happen. Let's see. We explored the evocation/conjuration room. We explored
the timey-wimey room.
The Chronergy room. Did we explore any others, or were those kind of the focus? Graviturgy. We did explore the Graviturgy room.
Oh, and Abjuration.
Didn't we do every room?
Oh, Abjuration.
We did them all but one. We did them.
I don't think we did
the real conjuration.
You guys have not done the real conjuration.
I don't think we did the real abjuration or illusion. Abjuration, conjuration, and illusion.
You did abjuration.
We did abjuration.
Yeah, illusion
was
the one
they
where
got stuck behind the shield.
The shield.
Oh, the shield. That's right. That's right.
The suck book.
Yes, and illusion was the one that had the war mural and then the forest mural.
No, that was enchantment. You guys have not been to the illusion one, yeah.
We also found a portal to a little girl's room. That's not weird at all.
Found a portal to a room, and there just so happens to be a little girl in there.
It's weird. It's sus. I would like further information.
You can already tell she's way too mature to be just a little girl. Like she knows some stuff.
What secrets does this child know?
Yeah.
You got that from the one sentence she said?
Yeah, all she said was, "You're not fear." How do you say this name, sir? I wrote it down and I don't.
Varan?
That one.
I now feel like I need to go back and double check the way I pronounce that. It's not.
I trust you. You got it. First take.
Yeah. I never make mistakes, so it really doesn't matter if
Whatever
I go back or not.
It is that now.
Yeah, she was surprised and said that y'all are not Varan. Do y'all remember? I don't think I really described this little girl.
Something about pale. Girl, white skin,
was she bald?
short shaved head, and
Should have a shaved
tattoos.
head, yeah. Okay.
And we sent the 2 best people in for the job.
Yeah,
2
that's
equally good at talking to people went in that portal.
I mean, I'm good at talking to people. Not like it's not on my sheet. If I have to roll to talk to people, no. But like I can shoot the
Right.
shit with anyone.
And we are equally good at this.
And I'm just looking for a
Yup.
couch. I'm just looking to sit on a couch. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
yeah, remind me who is in the room and who is outside of this little pocket.
Olin and I are we are done with the abjuration room, right?
Yeah. So I think we're just chilling right now.
I think
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
are
We go
reading.
into the illusions.
Yeah,
but-
we
Yeah,
we
I-
each had a book that we found.
Oh
I
yeah.
handed
Yeah.
off the book on meshing things into one thing, the Ratipede book.
The transmutation notes.
Thank you.
And I have
Mhm.
the locked abjuration book.
Yeah. But you guys, when we left, please correct me if I'm wrong, you guys were kind of like waiting outside of this, the portal where the other 2 went,
Yeah.
just in case there were any shenanigans.
Mhm.
And we love shenanigans.
Okay.
It's gonna be fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
Our track record in this place is totally perfect.
All right. And with
I'm
that
so sorry about the fireball.
being said, let's jump into it. I think we'll start back in this room. Is this the one I want to go with? This will work. The little girl looks at you. Pale skin, like I said, shaved head. She's wearing simple robes, and she stands up. She looks maybe 11, 10 or 11. And she glares at both of you, though, like eyes you as if she's trying to figure out if she should recognize you, like trying to figure out who you are. And she says, "Who are you?"
Buster gives a very deep bow and says, "Pleasure to meet your acquaintance. I am Buster Case Lightfoot. This is my companion."
I'm Dylan. Nice to meet you. Why is there a child? Why are you here? You are a child.
This is where I stay. Why are you here, Lady Knight and Bunny Man?
Lady Knight. I don't like that.
Looking back at the wall that we entered through, does it look like a portal?
You do, interesting. It looks like
Oh, no.
yes. Though it's not like we're on the other side, it kind of like you can kind of see that there's some space on the other side. On this side, it is just like white
Portal
light.
shaped.
Yeah, it's just like a white
Mm.
light doorway. But I think you do see, perhaps something you didn't notice before when you were looking around the room, like looking back towards the door. You notice like there's a portrait on the wall next, like a oil painting of like a family, next to the doorway.
Does it look like she's maybe in that portrait?
Looking at the portrait, you see 3 figures. One, or actually 2 of them in red robes. All 3 have their head shaved. One of them, I'm wondering how much. Give me some perception checks, actually.
She's
or
one of those-
investigation.
One of those freaky wizards. Freaky wizard family.
Oh, beautiful.
Yo!
So you see three figures, each of them like look different ages. You see there's like a young man who's, by the features, I think you get the sense that this is supposed to be a younger Azalin. There is an older figure, like an old, like wrinkly man, who's kind of got like a hand on each of their shoulders. The third figure being this small girl. An older wrinkly man, also shaved head, also many tattoos on his head, with a hand on each of their shoulders, also wearing the red, similar red robes as Aylin is in this picture.
Who's the third person?
Young small girl wearing dark robes, shaved head, simpler tattoos shaved on her, like placed on her head.
What's the last thing that she asked? Why are you
Why are
here?
we here?
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna tell her we were here because we were sent to get something.
Yes, we are looking for something. Very important question though. What is happening on the other side of this door to you? Have you left this room recently?
No, I can't leave.
Okay.
That's where Ferran goes and where my uncles go.
And you stay here in this room alone?
Yeah.
Okay. What is today's date? If you've been here for a long time, do you have a calendar? Do you have some way to track?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't even seen a calendar in a long time.
What's your name?
Zelia. Zelia Zalhanan. And
It is a pleasure to meet you.
she puts her her little hand out. And she, like, you can see her like puffing her chest out as if she's like trying to look very important when she says this name.
Dylan will, take her hand and bow. It is a pleasure to meet you.
You said you were sent here? Did my brother send you?
Is your brother Azalin?
Well, Theron.
You would know the name Azalin, though.
My brother's Ferran. Theron's my uncle.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Give me a second. I need to write out a family tree.
I think I did hear my uncle say that some people call my brother Azalin, though. But that's like a silly name. It just means Wizard King.
Azalin Rex, Wizard King. This motherfucker.
He's still a kid at heart.
Very kingly name. Do you know how long it's been since you saw your brother?
I don't know. Ferran said time works differently in here. It has been a long time, though. A few months now.
So time passes much more quickly out there. This might seem like a silly question. How old was he when you saw him last?
I don't know.
Well, was he a grown-up or was he a kid? Was he a teenager?
Old?
He was old.
Yeah. Like you.
Fair.
Buster
guy's
looks
older.
down. Buster looks down, knowing full well that she cannot track the age, and that is hilarious.
Are you sure you're supposed to be here?
Your uncle
Yes.
says.
You were friends with your uncle under a different name. Things are different on the outside of this portal, this doorway, this place.
You're friends with Uncle Theron?
In a way, we've met him in different. Do you know about the Four Horsemen? What do you know about this? Conquest, war, death. Do you know any bits of this? I do not know how much has been known to you on the outside, on the inside.
No. I mean,
No.
do you mean like the old story? Or the
Wait.
prophecy?
The dread prophecy.
Yeah, I know them about the prophecy. The
What,
horsemen who will come and destroy Darkon.
So you know of Darkon?
Yeah, it's where my brother's trapped.
We are not currently here on Darkon, correct? This is not Darkon.
No. I don't think so.
This is why I wanted to know the date. Maybe there's a different date system. So we are not originally from Darkon.
No kidding.
We have been traveling to Darkon, and we are, if you know this prophecy, the people in said prophecy to stop the destruction from these horsemen.
Forgot about that accent for a moment. Oh, you're supposed to stop the destruction.
Yeah, apparently, according to the prophecy, potentially, hopefully, we're doing our best.
Okay. Is my brother coming to see me soon?
Hopefully.
She smiles at them.
Hopefully. He has been working very hard. We've been picking up pieces and trying to make things work, but you know.
I think once we save Darkon, it'll be a lot easier for him to visit you.
Maybe potentially you can even leave this room.
No, I'm not supposed to leave this room.
You're
Why
a
not?
very smart girl.
She kind of half shrugs and she says, my brother says that I can only exist while in this room, and if I go outside, then I'll die. So I have to stay in here.
What kind of a check? What kind of a check is it to read this whole situation? Like, is this a spirit? Is this a
Give
snapshot in
me
time? Are we
an
in a different
Insight
realm?
Arcana. I would say Insight or Arcana. It might give you different information, but are your best
I'll
bet.
Oh,
try Arcana. That was so close to being a 1.
I know.
Okay. Buster. I think you notice after a moment, this girl does not seem to be breathing, for one. Two, I think you both realize pretty quickly, like, there's no windows in this room. And you know that if Azalin could have created, like, a way to create even a space outside of Darkon that was meaningful in any way, then he would not have struggled really to escape.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
Dylan, I think with our Arcana check, and maybe this makes the most sense that you might know this. I think you get the idea that this must be a construct of some kind. Um, I don't think either one of you can kind of tell much more beyond that with those roles, but I think you get the sense that this is a construct in some sort of like pocket time bubble that seems to believe and perhaps even has the memories of Azaelin's sister.
Well, does anyone else come and visit you?
Not in a while. Baron, Baron, Death came once. Odessa once. But nobody really else. Theron and Baron are really the only two.
And that's been a while.
Yeah. Though Theron told me it might be a while before anyone comes.
I start like fucking snapping off little fireworks and shit with prestidigitation. I use my warlock spell slot to cast an unseen servant, and I have it start picking up things around the room and doing goofy shit, like playing with her. She doesn't have any hair. Like messing around like with like things and like putting it like on her head and like just goofy shit that you would do to a kid to like
Amuse them.
amuse.
Yeah.
Like it's fully just like, oh, that's where we're at.
I think there's like a moment
Is
of like
a lonely child.
Yeah, I think there's a
Yeah.
moment of like shock and surprise as she steps back, and then as she realizes what happened, she starts like giggling and laughing a little bit. And then just kind of like step back and watches it, and you see she like reaches into her like robe and pulls out like a small little wand. And begins like adding sparks and stuff to your spells and things that you're doing.
Yeah, I go through my bags and like any like weird little trinkets that make noise or like any accoutrement that I would have in my pockets to like amuse people or to like play. If I have like a deck of cards, I'd spend like a little bit of time and be like, you know what, you've been alone for a long time. We unfortunately cannot stay forever, but let's spend a little bit of time and a little bit of amusement potentially.
Actually, on another. I think Buster, maybe one other piece combined with like perception, insight. Actually, never mind. Yeah, sorry. She's clapping, very excited as you're doing this. And while this is going on, I'm going to pivot outside of this time bubble for a moment and let you kind of sit with that. Back in the lab, Maxie is kind of just like walking around. I think she like eyes the little temporal slider machine thing with interest, but doesn't touch it. It's just kind of maneuvering around. And you guys hear a voice from the front of the lab. Hello, is someone in here?
Who's asking?
There, do you poke your head out, or you just kind of yell that from your alcove?
I'm in no position to get up and start shuffling. I'm working off this exhaustion.
Oh, that's fair. What about you, Tobias?
I'll go out. I'll go out and meet him in
Alright.
person.
You step out, and you see a familiar face. A pale, slender figure. Half his hair white, half red. Kind of gaunt-looking version of Theron. As death stares you in the face. And he says, and he kind of smiles as he sees you. Oh, good. You've arrived.
Well, hello there. I suppose I should be surprised, but I'm just not. Feel like this is your home, right?
Not sure death has a true home, though there is a nostalgia about this place.
I don't know. A lifeless, blown apart, yet healing itself castle sounds like a perfect home for death.
He like takes a moment to think about that and nods slowly, and he's like, perhaps you're right. There is something about this place that truly has death at its core. Well, you've all arrived. I wasn't sure when I had our first conversation, but I've come around to agree with Conquest's desire, his plan set in motion. So I'm here to make sure it happens.
Which plan is that? Mind enlightening us, or is this something we're going to have to find out along the way?
He shrugs and says, well, you're supposed to all head to the center of the spell.
You have anything a little less obvious for me?
How do you mean?
Well, the center of the explosion feels like the most natural, ominous place in here, so I'm sure that's where we would eventually end up.
Yes. Surely.
Surely.
Are you ready to go then? Why are you poking around the lab?
Well, before we face our potential imminent death, we'd like to have some fun. Check out all the nooks and crannies.
He kind of nods solemnly at this and says, that is understandable. Though it's possible some of you live through this process.
I think it's likely, but don't put the cart before the horse, as they say.
Do you want to live through this? You?
Do I?
Yes. Aren't you tired of it all? The loss?
I'm not tired of not surviving yet. But if I care fully, I haven't cared in a long time.
Begins sniffing the air a little bit. You've met my brother.
I feel like I've met a lot of you. Yeah. Was that your favorite one? Least favorite one?
Least favorite.
Least favorite. I feel like that one would send you the most death, though. I feel like y'all would really get along.
Famine just drags out the process.
You're more of a swift death kind of guy, huh?
I do not choose.
Done over with, right?
The process is not really all that important, but I don't care about people slowly dying. I only care about the moment of death. It's the moment when I guide the soul, as I have helped guide all the souls here to feed this spell.
About you. You ever want to do this in more than just Darkon?
Death is everywhere.
But are you death everywhere, or are you just death here? Just
He gives-
curious.
He gives you like a smile, like a knowing smile, and he says, "Oh, I have transcended Darkon far, far. Wait, what am I trying to say here? A long time ago.
Huh.
I have transcended Azaelin's little clones. In many ways, I have transcended my brothers. I am death incarnate. But neither here nor there.
So you know how I ended up like this?
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Owen.
You're Owen.
Sorry.
Say as he sort of like, and they walk up.
Maxie kind of slowly hiding in the back. Ah, this one. Yes, I am familiar with some of the processes that created you.
And are you familiar with what will occur when this vessel is done its duty?
No, I do not. I don't know the magics well enough to understand what will happen. But you are key to this whole thing. You will all be needed, but you most of all.
What does the spell do, Death? Why do you feed it?
I feed it because of a deal made a long time ago. But it's a thing better shown than told. The spell is not of my crafting, but of those who understand magic far better than I. But Azalin only created the start of it. It was Theron who figured out this next step, I suppose. But every dread domain needs a Dark Lord.
And this is to create a Dark Lord? Sustain a Dark Lord?
It is at least to give the illusion of a Dark Lord.
To trick the realm into thinking it can sustain itself.
More like bait for the powers that be. Are you familiar with the dark powers that control the lands of the mists, as the locals call it?
A couple of them.
And you recognize that they are beings of pure evil.
They don't always start out that way.
But they have to be capable of it.
The Dark Lords, perhaps, but the dark powers themselves, well, they've always been evil. Azaelin's theory on where they came from was that they were... Well, where are your friends? before I begin monologuing.
It's okay, I'll take notes.
He waits. Well, I know it's not just the two of you. I'm not sure we'll make the spell work without all four. Well, where's the fifth? No matter. Perhaps I can be a stand-in for that part.
Have you haven't happened to have left any meaningful robes laying around the castle?
Death looks down. Death is wearing like a black suit. He kind of like looks down, and looks up, and says,
Perhaps an heirloom. I don't think it would quite be your style.
You're looking for the token. You hope to bind the land of Darkon back to its original home instead of what Theron has for his plan.
To be honest, Death, I don't think any of us have any particular plans for what happens here. I think we're just along for the ride and trying to be as prepared as possible.
That's fair.
And I really feel like we're just making decisions on the fly. It's kind of fun for us.
Death smiles and says, I suppose that is the way you have worked most of the time, eh?
Well, we have a general collective goal.
I'm sorry you didn't get the two serious people to talk to.
No, it's fine. I don't need seriousness. And
Oh, so you're a shenanigans fan, huh?
plus though I know the abomination is needed, I don't like looking at it.
Ow.
You know, not really sure which one of us you're talking about.
The sad woman-looking one.
You know, I don't really think that you look that sad, but that's just me.
Are you referring to me or talking to your shadow?
Yeah, well, I was referring to you.
Damn.
Death got hands.
These hands rated E for everyone.
The shadow actually, the shadow actually, with effort from me, just waves at Death. Really kind of like daintily.
You do love that trick.
Oh, well, I'm sure that it doesn't work quite as well on you, but it freaks a lot of other people out. It's really just a trick of the light. Haha.
That's a funny one. That's good.
Thank you, Ellen. Appreciate that.
So you really have not really even begun to piece together your part in all this, huh?
Not one little bit.
I'm sure there's one of us is meant to have a dark power sealed within us, or act as some sort of vessel for the magic.
Death, actually chuckles a little bit. Oh, well, that's all right. You know, it was... Oh, almost got me monologuing again. We'll wait for your friends.
Have you spoken much with Odessa since her return?
Yes, I ran into Odessa.
You don't sound thrilled.
No. I would need to see the rules of the thing. Sorry. Secret messages. Well, Odessa had her own plans that I'm afraid interfered with those of Theron and I. So I had to end her, unfortunately. She did not go down easy, the Flayer, but in the end, all must die.
Do I believe him?
Yeah, I'm
Give
gonna
me an
ask the
insight.
same. Come on, just was trained. Let's go.
Two insightful friends here.
Is it still up though? Like the
It's like a bonus action to summon it, and there's not a limit.
well, I need show me the other part.
Leave it one.
I think Tobias, you're finding it hard to get a read on death a bit, but Olin, I mean, death is not once that you've been able to told you a lie
Mm-hmm.
in either of the encounters, and death does not seem to be lying now.
I would have thought that the Flayer Queen could have been useful to your goals.
Odessa had her own goals.
I mean, don't we all?
But hers ran counter to mine.
So your goals are different from Theron's goals, are different from
No.
the Flayer Queen's goals.
My goals have shifted to align with Theron's. It's actually a quite beautiful plan once I began to piece it together.
I'd love to hear more.
When all of you are here,
I mean, you've got 3 out of 5 of us. It's the majority.
Death shifts and says, so badgering.
I won't push you. I'm just... If you want to wait to monologue in your big room with a magic spell, so you can have the gravitas of everything else behind you, because you need the support from it, I understand. I've been there.
The piece of Theron's soul as part of your amalgamation that is you, I find it odd that pushing people is hard to believe that pushing people is not a part of your normal everyday. But he shrugs.
I feel the longer I've been in Dargon, the more that it's come out of me.
I think Death takes a moment. He walks kind of past you, Tobias, walks up to Olin and moves almost uncomfortably close to your face. As he kind of stares at you and almost seems to be looking through you in a way. I think he did something similar the first time you met.
I flipped the
just
eye patch up.
So odd. I really don't know what will happen to this body, or if Theron intended for his soul to make it this far or not. It's interesting, though. Theron loved very little in life, but this other piece of you. Sometimes I get nostalgic and feel like I should be protective of the pieces of my brothers that remain. But we have more important work. Are your friends talking to Zalia?
Who's
Who?
that?
He kind of like points towards the like portal in the chronergy alcove.
Maybe.
Is there another
Wretched.
person here besides you?
And
I'm not.
Axrock. We've heard much about Axrock.
Oh, yeah. And these weird little eyes that seem alive.
Axrock continues to grind away in his forge. I'm not sure I would call these eyes alive any more than I would call myself alive. But Zalia has never really been alive, at least that version of her. She is a copy.
Aren't you all?
An interesting question. I suppose. But she is a copy not of flesh, like I once was, but a copy of construct, a magical homunculus created because Azalin was sad and lonely and missed his sister. A weakness.
Death is such an asshole.
You know, the living would call that empathy, caring, life.
I care for all life. That is not life.
I only feel like you care about the end of it.
That is the most important to me, yes.
Which is where life ends.
Sometimes, but sometimes death can save life. Wouldn't you agree? Isn't that what the Mistwardens do? Kill in order to save? Cause death in order to preserve life?
I know. I would not say that that is our general mission. I would say our general mission is to prevent this mist from taking life. The inanimate thing from taking life.
In that, our mission is very similar.
Oh, because when the mist comes, you don't get your death, do you?
You misunderstand me. This mist is an extension of the dark powers, and it is those things' death that I wish to cause. And he begins walking towards the time portal.
Question. How do
Yeah?
you intend to kill the Dark Lords and get rid of this mist without eliminating the entire realm itself? Or is that one and the same for you? Because I'd be very interested in that first plan.
I will tell you more of Theron's plan when we have the others.
I try to cast message to Buster and say, under my breath, only the person casting this can who I'm casting the spell to can hear me. Our old friend Death is here. Surprise! Every bad guy we meet wants to monologue at us. Come when you can. And I don't know if he gets it through it, but it's 120 feet. I don't know if it goes through a portal.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if I could summon my echo in this room and send it out through the portal looking through its eyes.
Yeah, but like, why would you?
That's fair. I
this is
would
what-
summon it, like, for tag or something,
Yeah.
for an extra person.
And as Death is kind of walking towards this portal, we're gonna pivot back to inside the room.
Before he goes in, just
yeah.
one light question. Death, what brought you here? Was it that imp?
Polite question.
Wait, what brought you here? What was that
What
last?
brought you to this room? Was it that imp?
Fucking
No.
skeet.
No. The castle began shifting again, exploding.
That was my second guess, but that fucking
Oops.
imp.
Skeever's still alive. Interesting. I wonder if that means my brother still... Azalin still walks the lands somewhere. Good for him. And he continues his stroll. Yeah, we pivot inside the room. Magics are kind of going off. Y'all are having fun playing tag with the girl, and there's like a moment after she's been kind of like running around for a bit. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, I was gonna just like see if Buster wanted to try and find the rope while Dylan is distracting her with tag with an extra.
Oh, either that or I was gonna tell all of us to roll 5d6.
Why? I'm scared.
Roll 5d6.
All of us?
No, just says 3.
Oh, Zalia too?
Oh, are
Yeah.
we playing? Are we
We're
playing
playing
dice?
cards. We're
Oh, we're playing
cards.
cards.
Two. There was a way to turn this into I think it was actually 6d10 or 5d10 to turn it into like cards and like poker, and then you like put in like the cards you want back, and then you I don't know.
We're
We
playing
got two.
blackjack.
We each got pairs. No,
You
Zalia
pay
actually wins this
anytime.
hand.
With
She does.
Zalia wins his hands
Two
with
pair.
two pair. She's fleecing me.
You almost got it straight.
Almost, very close.
I play this
card
game
got
with Darren all the time.
my
He says I'm very
magic
good.
card got stuck in my cloak. Oh.
Is this a good hand? I've never played cards.
Well,
Other than
we'll
that
get there.
time when I was trying to learn to lie, but I was more focusing on reading tells than.
Yeah. While playing cards, I was hoping to look around the room and see if that cabinet that I saw in my vision with the cloak was in here.
Yeah, the wardrobe is with like it's got drawers and it's got like a little opening cabinet part at the top. But you see like the set of drawers which you saw in the vision that was shown to you.
Is she currently wearing a red robe?
She's wearing a like black robe.
Okay. Well, that was a fun hand. Zalia, did either Firan or Theron leave a robe in here? Red
Mm,
in color, kind of like the one in this painting over here.
Is that what you came here for? And she points towards the wardrobe.
It might potentially be something that could help us, but whether or not it is exactly what we came for, this is it's one of those it would be nice to bring along just in case type items. Would you mind if I went to look for it?
She shrugs her shoulders. She looks like a little nervous, but you guys have been like playing games with her and stuff like that, so she's kind of like relaxed a little bit. She says, I guess if Theron sent you, then you're allowed to do what you want.
Okay. I hop up. You guys can play this hand alone.
Yeah, Zalea, teach me how to play, because I'm just not getting it.
You're silly.
And I'll summon the Echo to like sit next to us and also play a hand.
I think when you summon the Echo, her eyes go wide and she's like, is that your sister?
Yes. Pretty cool trick, huh?
Yeah. Dylan, give me a little perception. Here.
Dear.
Buster, I would say you can take this
Oh,
too.
this is still rolling to GM. That's a 24. Oh no!
Uh,
Oh no! Are we letting that stand?
Yeah.
Oh no! This is a
so
bad time to.
we gotta look here.
It's a bad time to go catatonic, bud.
To go rabbitonic.
Receive another time or place around you.
Fuck.
You get this one
It's
a
the
lot.
worst one too.
Yeah, as you begin heading towards the shore, it's only for a few seconds.
Yeah, but I I bump into the wardrobe like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. You bump into the wardrobe. And there's like this moment where you kind of like bump and you like look down and you realize you're not in like the time and this is not a goblin time and place that you're seeing. This is a time and place that this body has been before. As you like bump into the wardrobe and like look up and all of a sudden there is a person, human, in front of you, who is sliding off of your sword into the swamp. You feel yourself like this looks like the like salt swamps that you guys were at. I'm struggling to remember the name of all of them. It's just the salt swamps.
It's just the salt swamps.
Yeah. And you look around and you see like several other bunnies. Each of them like these like farmers are attacking them, and each of these bunnies are just like stabbing these, like killing these farmers handily. So you're just seeing like all these people like dying to bunny men. Most of them armored up. And you just have like a few seconds of that.
Huh?
What the fuck?
An 11th hour twist? Truly, I was not expecting. What the fuck?
What has your body been up to?
Good question.
Don't touch that. You don't know where it's been.
I've been hinting at this for sessions.
Yeah, you've been
have.
mentioning like the bunny body and like the necromancy lab potentially also having a bunny body or something like that. But like what does it mean?
I don't know, but this necromancer was positively hair raising.
That was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Inspiration for you, friend.
Truly astounding.
Dylan, you're playing cards. There's something almost familiar about Zelia the more you like are playing with her. Like she looks familiar in a way that feels almost eerie to you.
Gonna sit and try and remember maybe someone I ran into when I was a little kid. That wouldn't make much sense. Maybe someone at the court?
Actually, I think on a 24, I'll give you, she has features. Some of them remind you of like Theron, but some of them look familiar in a way of like, and maybe it's just like coincidence, people look alike, but she, like the reason she kind of like looks eerie familiar, like you have this moment of like, because she looks a bit like you when you were this age looking in a mirror.
I just dropped my controller.
Not exactly, but like
there's weird similarities.
there's enough similarity there that you're like, huh.
Did you have a sister?
No.
Or just a brother?
Yeah.
What's it like having brothers? I've never experienced that. Like, fucking, like, talk with her and act like everything's normal while I'm trying to figure out what is going on.
Well, they're overbearing. They try and take care of you, but they're also dumb and think they're better than everybody. And she just kind of like goes off on a little tangent.
Little sister tangent.
Yeah. Buster, you come back to yourself in this moment. Drawers in front of you.
I open it up.
You open the drawer. You see several outfits inside, clothing. None of it looks like it would fit Zelia. It all looks sized for someone about Azaelin's size. And you see at the very top, folded neatly, a set of red robes. And it is at this point that another figure enters the room. Oh, you know what?
Glad we
That
talked over
is-
so long.
That
they
has its
get my
own
message?
music. Yeah, I'll say, Buster, you got that message like
In the middle of your fucking.
in the middle of your.
Little crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the 1,000-yard stare of my body killing what happens to be some poor people comes through. Death's coming, by the way, huh? Absolute freak
Yeah.
out.
I completely forgot to play the death intro when he came in last time. So I'll play it here as he's entering the room. Death
Good song.
enters, which reminds me of all the things that I've not mentioned. The smell of death follows him wherever he goes. So in this small room, it suffuses this area very quickly. The smell of rot.
Olin doesn't notice because it just smells the same as them.
Yeah. The smell of grave, dirt, and death. And he peers around the room very quickly, taking it all in. Zalia, her eyes go big as she eyes him and quickly figures out which of her brothers this is. Death looks down at her. Stand over there, child. And Zayla quickly gets up and scrambles into the corner where she was. You two, are you ready to go? We have a ritual to complete.
Actually, I was in the middle of a game with her. Dylan has not gotten up from the floor.
The construct will be fine. You look. Have we met?
Yeah, you were kind of a dick to a Nathan.
Ah. Well, you're much less disgusting this way. Much easier on the eyes.
Wish I could say the same.
That's funny.
Just a barrel of laughs.
You're here to save Darkon, right? Fulfill the prophecy. Though I suppose perhaps those things are not the same.
I should look over to Zelia oh, see? Telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Zelia's just staring at the floor.
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
You done playing? What we do here is literally a matter of life and death.
Then giving a lonely child a little bit more of a moment of fun and joy should be fine.
She is not a child. Would it be easier if I put the construct to rest?
Don't.
It's truly torture to leave it here. It cannot exist
Oh.
outside of this room.
Just don't.
Why don't
Leave-
you go exist outside the room and we'll be out shortly?
Leave her alone.
Mortals get so attached to things that seem alive, even if they're not. So fascinating. Please hurry. And he turns and walks back through the portal.
Buster shits a little. Couple little bloop, 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 rabbit pellets. He prestidigitates them away. Sorry. This is literally death. Here. And I'm clutching a garment. Fuck. Yeah, I put the robe away. And mentally prepare myself.
I'm gonna go over to Zalia. Is she still just staring at the floor?
She looks up after he walks out. She just looks a little nervous, but looks up at you with a smile as you walk up.
Yeah, sorry your uncle's a dick.
That's all right. He's always been a little off that one. Baron says he's sick.
It's a very polite way of putting it.
Accurate.
Just gonna
Ooh.
kind of kneel in front of her. Thank you for playing with us.
Thank you. Had a lot of fun. Will you tell Ferran or Theron if you see him to come see me?
I will.
Thanks. And you can come back if you want.
We'll try.
I'd like that.
Me too. But maybe learn how to play cards a little better next time.
I'll try and be better next time.
Beginner's luck. I was building you up. Gotta break you down easy.
She laughs and says, "It was nice to meet you. Lady Dylan, Sir Buster."
Give a big flourishing bow once again.
I think
All right,
having hesitation to leave her.
let's go. We have a monologue to listen to. I have a feeling.
Of course, he's gonna monologue at us.
So the other two of you, you see Death walk out first. Kind of walks towards the middle of the room, arms behind his back, just kind of like looking down his nose a bit at everything as he waits.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yes, your friends are coming. There'll be a minute. They found that robe.
Let's go.
Yeah, just one long look back before me and that go follow Buster out of the room.
As you
Yeah.
come out, Olin says, "You know, this Mistwardens thing, it's actually like contract work. So we're not even like morally or ethically obligated to do the work. It's just a paycheck.
Hmm.
Some people get attached to their jobs, but
What is your point?
we were just talking about it earlier. I thought you might like to have better framing on why people do what they do.
Ah. Well, ultimately, you've done what you've done because it was in your nature. Theron picked you all for a reason. Or, in your case, I suppose, made you.
One of his finest creations, I'm sure.
You are quite impressive, honestly. Theron's not really made, well... Transmutation was never his strong suit. But I suppose he did pick up a few tricks from Odessa, perhaps. And Azalin. strange, picking up tricks from another version of yourself. Come along then. I hope you aren't hoping to meet Axe Rock. He's
Oh, Death is
slaving
another
away.
version of.
We actually were.
Ah. Well, I'm afraid it will have no bearing on what happens next.
Then it doesn't hurt if we meet him.
How do we in game say, "Hey, give us the content"? But
Hey.
no. What do you mean?
Give me a...
Also, I've got a question, Death. You
Of
keep
course.
talking about how Theron picked us.
Yes.
I've never met the guy.
Me
I
either,
don't think
I think.
Buster's ever met the guy.
I have definitely met the guy.
Yeah, you're kind of the guy.
You've all met Theron at different points in your lives. Would it help if I brought the memories back for you?
I mean, I'm whole. I have memories.
Yes, but you were oh so very young. And Death walks up and just like puts his hand like on your face.
I wanted to find out Buster's. I wanted Buster to find
It's
out.
okay, we got time.
In time.
There's plenty of exposition to be had.
The hot fae lady he was shagging was actually Theron.
I think that's the case.
The Theron I was shagging was actually Theron.
We see. I'm gonna set the scene for everybody, though. Rosemary's memory of this will be
Dylan.
kind of Dylan's. Man, I haven't made that mistake in a while. Dylan's memory of this will be a bit disjointed. We see Theron. Wearing like a hooded cloak. He has his violin strapped to his back. Fine clothes otherwise. I have. I'll switch to
Not the magic violin though, because that got stolen in the first campaign.
Theron. I have a Theron stuff. My Salem. There we go.
Imagine recruiting Death to join the Mistwardens. That's so funny.
It's kind of funny. And he's carrying a basket. Crying babe. He's walking through a forest glade. And he comes to a like ring of mushrooms where he leans forward and sets the basket inside. And we see a figure. The point of view that Dylan has is of this babe. You like remember this figure looking down at you, smiling. He reaches into the basket after he sits down and like kind of like does a little like Gucci
The
Gucci
cheek
goo.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like pinching your cheeks, kind of like takes one of your hands and plays with it. And says, take good care of her, will you? I trust you more than most Fae Nameless. You'll take her to the prince. And we see a masked elf figure leans over. The mask is just like white with two little eye slits where we see pale eyes looking through. She says, where did she come from? Where did you get her? Theron smiles and says, well, I admittedly stole her, but I'm kind of family, so it seems fine. She, the masked figure kind of like turns to look at him, cocks her head, pulls out like her weapon, which is a giant paintbrush. And she says, "And will she be missed?" Theron shakes his head and says, "No. No, I would never give the prince something that would be missed. Perhaps by me. I don't think that counts." And he like leans down and gives the infant like a little kiss on the forehead, where he stands up and says, "Give my regards to the prince. I know he shall never meet me, but I do have a lot of respect for that one." And we see the man walk away from like your view, your vision, Dylan. Nameless reaches down, picks up the basket, and says, "Well, time for you to meet your new home, little one." Then we pivot. You are back in the tower room. Death pulls his hand from your face. Says, "See, like I said, Theron has touched all your lives. He put you where you needed to be."
Cool, he's a kidnapper.
"Yes, and I'm almost certain he told your mother how to find you. Not your real mother, mind you, the one that has turned you into this."
That's not. You don't have to call.
Ah, fair. And turns to Buster. Says, "You say you've never met him? I think perhaps you've met him more than anyone except Olin." He moves forward, and you see he actually like takes one hand on either side of your face, Buster, and almost like begins to pull.
I'm like shirking back, like very like quickly at him.
Like not letting him touch you.
Well, at first, I mean, I eventually let him catch up because, like, I imagine he overtakes it.
Yeah.
But
He reaches forward. It feels like almost like a snake as his hands like reach forward to grab you, and begins pulling, and you feel like you're a splintering almost.
physically,
Huh?
physically,
Mm,
like, is he grabbing my skull and ripping it apart?
It feels almost like that, but you know that's like not what's happening. You feel something touch that like that part of you, that the soul of you.
Right.
And yeah, I think we do get that vision of like you with the woman at the cabin that you're helping kind of like clean her house and like take care of her hedge maze and stuff like that. After you coming back, and we see that woman walk away and shift and become Theron. We see uh, a a scene at the court with like uh, a hobgoblin, and there's several of the oh fuck, I forgot her name. The queen of your particular court. Several people kind of like standing around, and this is not something that you like at the time like really registered, but there's like something in your peripheral where we see the queen standing with a man over one of these bunny corpses as it's beginning to like be part of another ritual, not yours, but another one. And there's just like a little trailing of a voice as all the voices of the crowd almost die down for this memory to take hold. And Theron says, I've got more where this one came from. The next one, though, will be the most important. It must go to someone. That one, actually. That one will do most well for my needs. You see the queen, like, frowns at him when he says my needs. And she says, surely you mean my needs? Says, yes, yes.
What I said, darling.
Of course. And he reaches forward and like grabs her hand and kisses it and he says, anything for you, my queen. As you know, we custom make each of these for you, and I've put my touch on every one of them. And we kind of cut and we see another scene with like, I think there's just like another fey creature that you had been like traveling with, partying with as part of a group that kind of like breaks off towards the direction where you'll eventually head to meet the Mist Wardens. This figure lingers, shifting again into Theron. Before he like turns and like just whistles, walks off to the woods. And we come back to the present.
Huh.
There are memories of the body as well, if you would like those. And he like twists a little bit, and you feel that ripping sensation again, and you feel your like body on a table, open chest, as like Theron and what looks like another of the clones. I think maybe it's hard to tell in this moment are like working. You feel pain, just deep pain as they like are twisting, working on it. Another memory is like several armored bunnies are kind of like lined up in a row. Husks. And Death kind of like points towards the salt swamps and these like this like village that's kind of built up there, and says, go now, go harvest, little ones. And each of the bodies kind of like jolt forward single-mindedly, and then we come back again to the present. Oh, it's almost delicious how much death drips from you. And the loathing. I think that's why Theron chose you. The loathing will be necessary.
I think Buzzard drops to his knees. Is borderline catatonic, like looking at his own hands. Just in absolute shock at both the memory of the pain of being dissected and also a history not known to him. Crazy.
You're the perfect bait. The loathing, blood of a Dark Lord, soul of a Dark Lord, two, in fact. Well, the shadow. Altogether, you'll fool the dark powers quite well.
Into
Solely
what?
was, well, into taking the bait to complete the spell. You'll have to see to really understand, which is why I'm trying to get us there.
You keep saying taking the bait. To trigger the spell, you haven't once said the next step. Do you even know?
Oh, I've been asking. He wouldn't answer until we were all here.
I'm not 100% sure, but walk with me, and I'll explain.
Feels a lot like Strahd.
This does feel a lot like Strahd, and I'm about to do something stupid. I think Dylan goes past him and like shoulder checks him on her way over to help bust her up.
He doesn't even seem to notice. Oh, yes, I'm sure you feel very out of control right now. Take what you can to make you feel powerful. But don't worry, you're going to feel incredibly powerful with this spell. You have no idea. You're on the cusp of something amazing. It took me so long to understand what Theron's plan really was. I thought he was just trying to birth a new dark power, new dark lord. Simple thing to save Darkon, but it's so much bigger than that. And he begins walking out of the lab.
I walk over to Buster and kind of kneel down by him and just say, "Hey, we're all here for you right now. I don't know what you just thought or what you just saw, but the catatonic stare in your eyes. Just wanted to remind you, we're all here. And we're not our past and we're not our future, we're just right now."
I was a tool. The whole time. All of my escape, I could not get away. Always still used as a tool for someone else's gain. Couldn't run away far enough, fast enough, long enough. Still here. Used as a soldier, another good little pawn. To get someone else's joy. $5,000 years wasn't enough.
Make your own decision. Starting now. Whatever you want, I'll support.
We're gonna kill that motherfucker.
Buster, you're
But
starting
first-
to sound fun.
But first, I'm going to touch that time machine thing, go back a little bit so I can try and forget some of this. Hold on, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Wait a minute. No, you said I
Hold
wasn't
on.
allowed to deal with my trauma that way.
Do as I say, not as I do. I was a very healthy, well-adjusted individual not 3 minutes ago. This is different. I'm escaping.
You're continuing to run?
Buster stops.
Do you want to tell us first, so at least somebody remembers? And we can tell you later.
I give the short version of everything that I saw. The manipulation through years of Fae, this and that, the fact that I did in fact lay with Theron, hard
A lot.
confirm, a lot,
Same,
a
dude.
lot. Same
Transitive
dude.
property.
Whoa.
We're just
Eskimo brothers.
just homies.
Yeah, and then the little bits of like the bunny soldiers being a tool, which like of all the things to use as a tool, terrifying, scary. Rabbit people. Yeah. If we wait any longer, he's going to come back in here and be like, oh, what are you doing?
Kind of worth it at that point, even if it's just giving him a mild annoyance.
Fair. I'll
If you wanna
remember it
forget-
all.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I do want to forget. At least just for clarity of mind for what we're about to walk into, but like...
Are you still gonna have the same passion of wanting to kill that thing?
bloodlust? I don't know. Probably not.
We could use that.
Yeah.
He was kind of rude to a little kid. I mean, could still keep that bloodlust level going.
Freaking hate that guy.
Yeah.
Now, I will mention, I don't know if Tobias and Olin would want to mention this, but the other two did not hear Death mention that he killed Odessa. I don't know if y'all want to drop that little...
I kind of figured he would
was
bring it up
totally
and brag
about-
about it again, but
I was totally about to bring her up too. Like, you know, I bet Odessa hates him. Like, no one can get. He's so grating. I bet we could get her to help us.
well, funny story. Death claims to have gotten rid of Odessa, and I've no reason to believe he lied. So, whether she would have been ally or foe, I don't think we have to worry about her involvement in this situation.
How
Although,
power
our
gamey
creatures,
is it?
Who knows?
How power gamey is it to use this thing, this time thing? Because you said I got a long rest by using it.
Yeah, I mean, you also risk exhaustion.
Oh yeah.
That was the other thing.
Buster's mad. I'm gonna use all 3 of my 4th level spells and cast Death Ward on all 3 of you.
Is there some like other meaning to Death Ward since we have death on our tail too?
I don't know. Who's to say?
I'm already dead, so this is really confusing.
I'm
FYI, if you want to do it to yourself, I have an ability that helps me stay alive if I go to 0.
I also
Just
have.
like just like if you want to do it to me, that's cool, but I'm just telling you.
Well, hey, I appreciate the death word, man.
You get what?
I have this. I can make a charisma save, depending on DC plus 5 plus DC 5 plus damage, and I could go to drop to 1. Just FYI. You would
also-
know this from working with me.
Right. Yeah, maybe I cast it on myself instead then.
Cool.
If you've got ways to
How-
circumvent,
Far back are you about to go?
like
And
3 minutes.
Okay.
Or
so
at
remember
least
the room.
I want to go back far enough. I don't want to forget Zalia, but I want to see how much like. See, it's back and forth. I would honestly like to go back before the explosion, but before I want to
Before the
remember
fireball?
Zalia.
Before
yeah,
the conjuration room.
Yeah, I still want to remember Zalia. So I'm going to, if we're fully power gaming, I'm going to also use my last Greater Restoration on Olin.
Exhaustion removed.
Yeah, and then I'm going to hit myself with a 3rd level Cure Wounds.
I don't know, but I
Wouldn't
feel like
your
you
wounds
would.
get undone?
Oh yeah,
Are
that's
you
right.
going
I guess
back?
I wouldn't do that. What were you saying,
I,
John?
just in case it changes, whatever. I'm gonna say this thing doesn't have the because you have to like move from crystal to crystal. It doesn't really
Mhm.
have like
3 minutes.
3 minute mark.
Right. Well, I'm going to move it back one tick and just see what I get.
Okay.
But even then, like, I still had the memory of having the spirits take my eye, but they were misty.
Yeah. And this would
You're going to
basically, like the last point would be similar to like the last point you went to, which would be like after you're longer. So like all these memories that would be misty.
Yeah.
Are you still gonna go back?
I don't know if that would change spells cast or anything, but
It's up to you. I'm not scared of death. I've been dead a long time.
Just catch me up.
So wait, you're going back?
Hmm.
Before you go back and your memory gets all weird and foggy and fuzzy, did she look weirdly familiar to you?
Think maybe. See, I rolled a nat one on that perception check, so I don't think I
know.
can glean that. But at the same time, based off of the story that you've told, I think that might be you. No, or you were like her younger sister or something. Is my gut guess of
Or child?
if Theron is the uncle and Firan was the older brother, and he had a baby that he stole from someone, my gut is thinking that you are like kin with Theron, and maybe Firan and Zalia's younger sister, or maybe Firan's daughter,
I was thinking daughter.
but like related deeply
Yeah.
in there some way. Is my gut guess. But yeah, it's like a dream, but you'll be reminding me of the dream as I'm fading out of it. So like try and remind me of it as we're going. And then I will hit the thing back one little tick.
all right. Go ahead and make me a Constitution save.
I'm going to use my inspiration for advantage. Oh, thank God.
Well played. Well played. Okay. Well, you don't have a Death Ward on you anymore, either.
That's
You
fair.
wouldn't have cast that spell.
But
That's fair.
like last time, we'll go back to the. What do we say? Like the end of your long rest, basically.
Hmm?
We can't take this
Inspiration.
time thing with us, right? It's big.
Inspiration was clutch. Inspiration was clutch because that was definitely the 18 was not enough.
Huge.
No, the time device is like big, right? It's like a
It's built in.
Part of the wall.
Yeah, it's built into the wall itself.
So can we move the cannon out of the
But yeah,
conjuration?
now everything everything that you had already like kind of rewound time on before it like kind of seemed misty, like that now feels like a dream within a dream. And everything that you remember from like fiddling with the time machine forward now becomes misty and faded. So I think you barely remember even like coming to the castle to begin with, though have like some vague memories of like being here.
Where
If you
is Ever? He was just here.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Death.
where is he?
Death didn't know
You-
that he was even alive anymore. So-
Death's here?
Oh my god.
You didn't
Oh
get my
right,
message?
you
Oh,
said catch you up.
fuck.
Oh,
Fuck.
dang it.
Why
catch-
do
I'm gonna
you
catch Buster up real
smell like
fast.
Death Ward? What is happening?
All
What
right,
did I
here we
do?
go. Strap in.
All right, you guys catch Buster up on the highlights. Y'all head out.
More like the
Yeah.
low lights.
We can't
The
take
low
the
light.
time thing with us, right? It's like in the room.
Yeah, it's in the
Correct.
wall.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
I cast see invisibility on myself yet again. It would be a good idea.
You guys begin heading out. Death is waiting at the top of the stair. He looks like he's just like standing there disassociating,
Relatable.
I want to
like
stand.
looking up and
I want to go stand in front of him and like stare at him like he stared at me. See if
So
I
when
can,
he comes out of his little disassociative state,
we can
you're right
dissociate
there.
together. Yeah.
yeah, he looks up at you and smiles. Yeah.
I don't know what you're looking for. I can't see anything.
I was waiting for you, and then the souls, they called to me. I'm not always present in this body, you see. As Death, I am much larger than a mortal form, but come, let's begin.
Oh, I'm gonna kill that imp.
When the fuck
We're
did
gonna
I
go see
just
Axe Rock
roll?
now, right?
Rock is so unimportant. Listen, what if I told you that you could you see Death like thinking for the words as he begins like walking down the stairs. Said, perhaps I'll put it this way. I don't want to. I feel like you'll think about this small. What happens if you have a well that people drink and the well is fouled?
They get
You-
sick.
Block off the well and you dig a new one.
Yes, but even a little bit of foul water can poison the whole thing, right?
You purify the well.
That is an interesting notion, Buster Slyfoot. He's like walking down the steps. And something Conquest had in mind. You see, Conquest always had a much bigger vision than the rest of us in a lot of ways. Azalin, escape! Let me out of this prison. Sorry.
Death stumbles down the stairs.
Yeah. Let me out of this prison. War, let me cause battle. I'm struggling. Even my own vision was fairly limited compared to Conquest. Death is everywhere and pervasive. But Conquest. You see, and he kind of like turns backwards as he's like walking down. I misspoke a little bit earlier when I mentioned the soul of a Dark Lord with Olin, because really, there never was a Dark Lord. But he created something better. And perhaps his soul works as an anchor to tie you to the rest. As he turns around and walks down the stairs. Soul, blood, hate. These are all things the dark powers love. But you see, he created something to foul the well, or purify, depending on your viewpoint. Forgotten Light only wants to destroy evil. So what if you could create a dark power with Forgotten Light as its face? Forgotten Light as a dark power. What'd that look like? And he like kind of like reaches the bottom of the steps and looks towards like the large door of the throne room.
No, that's a bad idea.
Why is that a bad idea?
you get a zealot slaughtering any they see as unworthy or unrighteous.
Yes, but a dark power who only wants to destroy evil, surrounded by other dark powers constantly jockeying for souls around him, what would he do?
Slay the other dark powers.
Yes.
I'll try. You'd have to make
Perhaps-
sure you made a very strong dark power.
He reaches forward and opens the throne room, light of the explosion kind of like pouring into the hallway. Says, yes, you would. Yes, you would. But even then, you see the lands of the mists, they're prisons. The people inside them are miserable. Their lives filled with pain caused by these dark lords, dread lords. But if you could poison the well, kill all the dark powers, destroy all the lands of the mists, lots of death, yes, but how much death would you prevent? How much harm could you save if you destroyed all the dark power? And he strolls into the throne room.
I mean, we couldn't prevent any death, could we? This is under their breath. I mean, it would destroy the realms. There would
No,
be
it
no one
just
to-
destroys the realm. You're just killing everyone.
I get the point, the concept, but it's not exactly theoretically sound.
It doesn't feel like it was thought all the way through, or at least he doesn't know all the steps and is just kind of making assumptions. Spit
Wouldn't
like war.
Wouldn't that give him all of the death? Isn't that exactly what he wants?
Kind of.
I guess, but if it's Theron's idea, it must be some
Theron
twist.
doesn't have the best ideas.
Historically, Theron. Great in bed, and not great at much else.
Great. Wait, I don't remember that. Never mind.
You were going, oh, Jill.
You think you remember that? You're like, did I sleep with Theron?
No, those memories of actually sleeping in bed, but being made aware that it was actually Theron, like, oh yeah, I guess I was there, and they were okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Kidnapped a child and then sold it out. Yeah, give us a minute. Kidnapped a child and then sold that person later on the line out to mother. Personally, I don't like the guy and kind of want to fuck up his plan.
It's a very big machinations. Whatever happened to going to a tavern and like hiring an adventuring crew?
Just get a party together.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Like I said, this is all contract work. I'm sure he could have contracted somebody to do this.
He literally could have just put in a regular contract with Mistwalkers. It didn't have to be all of this.
Maybe,
Incredible
No.
steps.
maybe
don't-
he started the Mistwardens just for this to happen.
That would be wild. Could you imagine?
That's some crazy Destiny stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe in all that.
Hey, and then I break the huddle and speak to death. Like, if Forgotten Light death power kills all the other death powers, what happens to one, the lands that these powers are bound to, and then two, the only death power left, which is an overpowered Forgotten Light? There's still
Which-
one left.
We'll still be seeing evil in the world and wanting to purify it. It's not going to
Death-
stop with the dark powers.
Death kind of shrugs and says, well, there's a chance that the lands will just return from where the Dark Powers stole them from. But even if the lands are destroyed, it prevents the Dark Powers from pulling more people in. more lands, more innocents getting caught up in their machinations, their prisons.
And what's the certainty of this?
Was it that
That that Forgotten Light will succeed in destroying the Dark Powers?
That this will actually go as planned, and the lands return from wherever they're supposedly from.
Oh,
It
I haven't.
recreates the world that they were taken from.
I'm not sure what the chance of that is. I don't really understand the magic enough. The important bit is the destruction of the Dark Powers, though.
Is there in
Which
here?
I should have known. Huh?
Is there in here?
I mean, in a way.
I guess I'd just like to hear more about the plan from the person who came up with it.
Yeah, is there someone more in tune with the magics that you don't understand? Is it just you?
What is
Just
the
famine.
hesitation here? You were so ready to run into this plan, you didn't really know how many people would live or die, whether you succeeded in this plan or not. Now you have the opportunity to free multiple universes from the clutches of the Dark Powers, so they never claim more souls and more lives, and you hesitate now?
Well, it's just that what you're proposing sounds a lot like interplanar fascism.
they
might
said
argue,
it?
I might argue that the Dark Powers are the interplanar fascists.
Kind of just don't care about wiping like a whole bunch of people that didn't do anything wrong.
Can this be done one at a time? Or is this like a take all?
Well, do you mean one Dark Power at a time? I
Yeah.
don't really know how fast Forgotten Light will work, to be honest.
And what happens to Olin?
Yeah, that was my next question.
That is a great question. One that I also don't have the answer to. After you,
I really don't like him.
You're really not helpful, Death. You're really not.
I really don't understand the struggle here. Conquest has created the ultimate ability to destroy the ultimate evil in all of the planes. It's fucking miraculous, honestly.
Hey, don't swear.
There's a fucking swear jar.
Apologies.
In everything that I have seen, especially in Darkon, every single place we go, just the end doesn't justify the means always.
Each soul in all the lands of the mists is trapped, waiting like a fly for the frogs that are the Dark Powers to just eat them up whenever they want. Perhaps it's better to say trapped in a web of a spider. Every soul forced to relive life in these horrible lands, each one often dark or tortured, turned into undead, perhaps, eaten by vampires, chased by werewolves, split by mother. How many lives suffer? How many lifetimes of people have suffered? The same soul under mother might have died 5, 6 times. You know what that does to a soul?
I've got an idea.
So you understand that not all of them do well through the process. But they're just waiting to be harvested. Whenever the dark powers get hungry, they pluck those loose souls, stuck in the web. The ones that aren't reincarnated, the ones that are just waiting for their next body. The dark powers all reach in, pluck souls. That's all the lands of the mist really is, a big pantry for the dark powers.
Oh, so like you've been doing to fuel this spell. Plucking souls from the spiderweb of Darkon.
Yes. Stealing them from the dark powers generally to power this power in waiting, this loop. When Azalan escaped, he killed the dark power that he had a pact with, but its power remains and needs to be fed in order to maintain this slow destruction of Darkon.
Makes you sound like an awful lot like a dark power to me.
I am simply using their own power against them.
So is this just another state of dualism, good versus evil, and you want us to believe that you're the good one?
No, I am not good. Not by any measure, I believe. I am simply death. I simply am.
And as Olin said, what's the difference between you doing this to them and the dark powers doing this to you?
The dark powers are doing this to them. Just because these souls get used up quicker in this spell, do you know the power that these souls are being led into? It's just more of the dark power. If you want to just save Darkon the way you were, you can create another dark power if you want. Create another Dark Lord, or try your magic with bonding Darkon to another land, but the dark powers won't let you do that easily. And I'm not sure I want you to either.
We'll make our decision in there.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing something.
I feel like we need to go talk to Axrock.
I bet Axrock knows.
No,
Can I roll something to see if we're missing something? What? Well, actually, it does. It feels
Can
like
I roll
there's
a brain check?
It feels like there's a piece of this puzzle that's like not slotted in.
It truly does.
Because there's the end goal, there's the process, there's sort of a why, there's sort of a how. There's like some like key fragment. Feels like it's not.
what does death get out of it? What does death and what do both of them get out of it? It's kind of my question. Like, yeah, sure, Conquest wants to kill all of the dark powers, and the thing that I'm racking my brain with is the fact that I kind of agree. This plan to poison the well and have Forgotten Light,
Kind of gets rid of the Mistwardens.
Yeah.
it does, but the Mist Wardens are a band-aid on a bullet wound to a certain extent. Like, it's kind of a good thing to get rid of them, because like
You're killing all those people on the train.
We're out of necessity. Well,
not killing
somewhere,
them.
right?
They just can get off the train and go fucking chill.
Well, we
The
don't
train
know.
can finally land in Eberron because it's no longer fucking interdimensional.
He said all the people in the Mistlands will. There's a possibility they all die.
Well, the train is its own realm.
Dread
Realm.
in the mist.
Yeah, the way I understand it is like, imagine, say there's 10 or 12 dread domains. There is at all times a bank of like, let's just throw out a number, for example, 10,000 souls. At any given point, say like 8,000 of them are currently living. When one person dies, one of those dark powers gets that into like the bank of souls, and then they pluck one of those souls that they can use and put it into their plane. So there's no souls being gained or lost. It's just a bank. So like everyone that died in Darkon will inevitably be recycled and put into like Barovia or Tempest or whatever, because there's no addition or subtraction. Maybe there is a funnel from like the other greater material planes to like replenish them whenever those souls get like used up and can no longer be reused, but like there is somewhat of a stasis of equilibrium that keeps these dark powers enabled. Killing the people that are currently dead, I think, is more of like a killing them so that they cannot become alive. There's just like souls that everyone in Darkon's dead, and those banked souls can't be used elsewhere because the dark souls to do that will be gone. I think is kind of what he meant in the killing of. But like, if the lands are unbound, then whatever is on those lands where they were taken from previously, if there's something there, that might be kind of like an issue with like, clipping. Yeah, I don't know. I hate to agree, but I think I agree. But my real quandary now is like, what the fuck do they get out of it?
What do they stand to gain?
Yeah.
I would like to ask Death if this is Theron's plan, Conquest's plan, that you found also benefited you. What was your plan originally?
I had no plan. I am simply death. I exist no matter what. And I shall continue to do my work, no matter what. But Conquest's plan is something... I wonder if it makes him like me, almost. Truly an avatar of Conquest. You see him like smiling, almost like lovingly about his brother.
What?
This guy
what do you
hates Conquest. What happened here? Can I roll insight? Can I get some kind of read on this?
This is not actually death, it's actually conquest.
I'm actually
a Zalen?
I'm gonna use my advantage on this roll. I think.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my knowledge from a past life.
Oh shit.
Because you are that guy. Oh
Nice.
my god, it's him.
32.
Holy shit.
Wow. All right. What questions are you trying to get a read on here?
So, we know that none of the brothers really get along or like each other that much. And Death and Conquest were, especially at odds. So, there must be something that really sweetened the deal for Death here. And Death claims that he didn't have a plan, but he decided to be like, Theron's plan, I will go along with Theron's plan. So he must have had something he wanted to do. At least that was my impression.
Does he get something from the death of the dark powers?
Yeah,
So,
does he claim those souls as well? Right.
But also,
There's-
we're creating a power vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that are going on here. One, with this insight check. Death is not...
Where I just walk up to Death and stare through.
Death is not... I'm not sure most... As far as, like, mortal mindset goes, like, this man does not seem sane in a lot of ways. I think you get the sense that he saw Conquest's original plan of, like, what he saw as his plan of, like, creating a new Dark Power, a new Dread Lord to save Darkon, as, like, unimportant. As he really didn't care if all the people of Darkon died. But this idea that Conquest has actually created something that would, like, reach to the levels of destroying the Dark Power, something that seems to be a very rare occurrence for a Dark Power to die. In the Mistwarden lore, you've heard of this maybe happening twice ever. Of an actual, not a Dreadlord, but a Dark Power dying. Something that's, like, way above, like, what the Strahd and all them. Like Vampire, who was the dark power behind Strahd, is thought to have been destroyed. And perhaps one other in the history of the Mistwardens. They are incredibly difficult to destroy, and it's not even clear if they are destroyed or just like beaten back for a while.
Especially since vampires still exist.
Yeah.
So you get the sense that like Death is enamored by like how quintessentially like conquest this plan really is. Like he is really going to just win the entire battle against the dark powers with this one super complex plan that he's put into place. So you feel like Death, like having understood Theron's plan, is like in love with like what Theron has done here, what Conquest has built. And feels like in some ways like more of a where the others he doesn't really see as true brothers. I think you get the sense that like with this plan, Conquest has like elevated himself in Death's eyes to where like he is an equal to Death. Because Death, you get the sense that Death feels like he is like, I have surpassed Azalin, I have surpassed Famine, I've surpassed all of my brothers because they're just like powerful wizards bopping around doing their thing. I'm an avatar of Death itself. So I don't really care about these small things. But Conquest here is like almost like in Death's eyes, like elevating himself to like an avatar of Conquest with this plan. Also, there will be a lot of death in this plan.
Mm-hmm.
And in some ways you see like Death isn't necessarily excited about all this death, but I think you get the sense that he truly believes that these souls will be better off not bound to the web that the dark powers have created. Like he legitimately like seems to have some care for these souls and views them having to like live lives, no matter if like how bad or good those lives are. Like in the Dread Realms, there's only like a certain level of like good life you can have, and in Death's eyes, after so many of those, like it's almost like a mercy to these souls to like free them from this web. Whatever happens to them, whatever ends up like being their fate, even if they're completely destroyed, Death sees this as like him helping them
An
move
absolute
on.
win.
Yeah, or like an absolute death for these souls
Mm-hmm.
in a way that they don't have to like keep going through this like process the dark powers have created and put in place. Yeah, I think Death's motivations are kind of like he sees himself so much above everything, but I think you're kind of like getting this read and you're like, this dude like truly believes the shit he's spewing, basically. And I mean, like Buster said, there is like some points to the things he's mentioning. These are just beliefs that he has like taken and like fully believes in them. So now it's like more of like, oh, my brother set this up. I'm gonna like this plan is beautiful in so many ways. I'm gonna like help Conquest plan fulfill as one avatar to another. And ultimately be the death of the dark powers as an avatar. Like that also like elevates him in some ways, I think, where he is like seeing himself like, not only do I shepherd the souls of the dead, but with like my brother's help, like the souls of almost these deific beings will also be on his list, in some ways empowering him as an avatar of death, at least the way he sees it.
Yeah.
Is there any other insights or questions you have with that 32? I'll like there's pretty much, I think you can completely read Death to Filth right now.
I kind of feel like I get it now. I feel like I understand that Death is just 100% behind whatever is going to happen here. Has utmost faith in it, you know? I don't know. I feel like
and
it's not
you get
hard
the
to
sense
really understand Death's motivation in wanting more death, right? It's just that it felt strange that he turned so quickly, but I mean, it definitely feels like I get why he would now.
And you get the sense that really Conquest is the only brother that he has like any affection for at all in this moment.
Well,
who's to say that Forgotten Light will do what they think that
yeah, that's the
it
only
will.
real thing is that
if Forgotten Light is turned into a dark power, what's to keep Forgotten Light good if these powers are beings of evil? Won't Forgotten Light's whole MO just shift and be corrupted?
well, it kind of feels like Dark Power's whole things are based on self-preservation, right?
Yeah, I mean,
At least
the
to,
ones
to
that we
me,
know.
to the ones we've seen, right?
Yeah.
So if Forgotten Light thinks that the best way to preservation is to destroy all the evil dark powers, but I don't know. It's already Forgotten Light's already kind of like a zealot in that that fervor anyway, right? So.
And then you want to give them even more power. It just feels like this wasn't thought out all the way. Feels like there's a lot of ways for it to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got to be very well thought out. All these guys are like so old. There's no way they're telling us everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I will say you've read Death. It's hard to know what Conquest necessarily had in mind.
Really, now that I know what Death shit is, I'm kind of like, I wish Conquest were here.
I don't think Death cares at all. He's just like, whatever. Why would, you know?
Yeah. That's the impression I definitely get too. Death was like, I mean, this works for me, so why not?
Death stands at the door of the throne room and motions you inside and says, "You can debate this all you want, but perhaps you'll get more insight from inside the spell. Or at least see what you're dealing with."
Fine.
Before walking in, can I tap into the like pit of hunger that I have in my stomach and reach out to famine? Kind of just tug that line and be like, "Hey,
You aren't gonna believe this.
I'm with
Hey,
Death. We are going to do some weird stuff here at the throne room." He's getting in bed with Conquest. I don't know. He's my patron, so I don't know if I can contact my patron.
You can definitely. I think you get the sense you feel famine on the other side, like gets your ping.
Left on red.
You leave a voicemail.
I think you send this information through. Give me a religion check. Yeah, you send that through. I think you get the sense that famine is receiving the information you're sending, but you don't like get anything back.
Okay. Just figured it'd be good to tell him.
We are for
Because
sure over 10 miles away from Shar Springs, right?
100%, yeah.
Okay. Damn.
All right. Well, as you all walk through the door into the throne room,
I knew
we're
you were
gonna
gonna play
fade to
that
black.
fucking corny ass
man.
music.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another week of Mistwalkers Shroud. Join us next week. We'll find out where not only our players, but Darkon, the lands of the mists, will they thrive? Will they survive? Or will everything take a dive? We'll find out.